mama, you gonna have to stay right here, so that the parents can also teach you as well. But, so I always tell people that, so they'll know where I'm coming from. The reason why I chose to go into something dealing with education versus dealing with the foster grandparent program or staying in a mental health facility or dealing shelter care. So, talking about Louisiana Promise, so we have had, and I have to forgive me, I'm so used to walking around and I don't wear heels, and this is high to me, so.
Oh my God.
And I'm short, so I should. But dealing with Louisiana Promise, we are, it's under the auspices of Volunteers of America in North Louisiana. Our main office is in Shreveport, where I'm from. We have maybe about 5 or 6 people in the Shreveport office. We have one in our Baton Rouge office, Ms. Robin Clark. And so she's a training coordinator for this area. So she's basically your contact person in southern Louisiana. Now, you may get an opportunity to see some of the rest of us in the times permitting if she's overwhelmed with doing trainings or whatever the case may be. We all can travel anywhere, but this is Robin's area. I'm hoping real soon that we can help find her somebody for this area if funding allows us to do that. So we're going to go ahead and start about talk about Louisiana Promise. Of course, the objective of this is of course to give you information about Louisiana Promise PERC, PERC being Parent Information and Resource Center. Talk about the grant guidelines, and we have 3 program goals. Talk about the services we render and our location and contact information. Of course, PERC is funded through the U.S. Department of Education, Office of Innovation and Improvement grant under the Title V of the No Child Left Behind Act. Basically what that is that we deal with the parental involvement component of the No Child Left Behind Act. We're about helping to build that partnership between parents and the schools. It's about making sure that children are being successful, academic achievement for all our kids. We're committed to, of course, effective parental involvement in educational success, like I just said, and we deal with strength-based programs. Everything we do is research-based, it's strength-based, so we can make sure that our families get the best information that is needed to help them to make sure their children can succeed. We serve the rural and the urban areas, which, you know, in Louisiana, we're mainly rural, and that's amazing to people in other states. But one of the things we try to make sure we're targeting all the areas. We don't want anybody left out. So when we say we can go anywhere, we can travel anywhere to make sure that we're hitting the areas, and most of it is rural. Of course, we have to do at least 50% of our funding has to be on a high concentrated area of children who are in a low socioeconomic status. Also, we do at least 30% of the funding goes to the early childhood. And one of the things we do in the early childhood, we do the Parents as Teachers program. Unfortunately, it's only done in Shreveport. However, we used to partner with the Baton Rouge area, but unfortunately lost funding, so we can't say we're with them anymore. So we just have it in Shreveport. We're hoping, this is our last year of this cycle, hoping in the next 5 years we can receive more funding where we can put parent educators in the other areas. Of course, our target population is families who are who are socially economic challenged, of course minorities with learning disabilities, and of course limited English speaking families. Of course, Promise. When we first got these jobs, we were wondering what was Promise. What was Promise? Well, Promise is an acronym, and it stands for Parents Realizing Opportunity Means Investing in Students' Education. We always talk about, and one of the reasons Mary Ellen is the one who wrote this grant and came up with this acronym, and everything at Volunteers of America, every program has an acronym. So you'll be amazed at the things she comes up with. But when we were talking about this, like Promise, and we had to really sit down and digest what it says. We all want to invest in the students' education. We want to make sure parents are investing their time and efforts in making sure that their children can succeed. Our first goal that we're working toward, of course, parents are the first, they're recognized as the first teacher. And we want to make sure that parents realize that it is a maze in the womb. When you're reading to your babies, talking to your babies, they're learning. You're their first teacher. And that's one of the things we know that we're working toward this. We do a lot of this when we're dealing with our Parents as Teachers program. You'll be amazed at the young moms that we come across who doesn't realize that when they're reading a book, they're actually reading to their babies. We give them books and tell them read to the babies even when they're pregnant. And one of the ladies told me, she said, well, why am I reading? He can't hear. I said, yes, ma'am. He's hearing you. He's learning. So continue to read. And now this baby is very smart, and it's just amazing to her. And I told her, I said, it's because you were reading while he was in the womb. So we are our children's first teacher. Of course, we're about empowering parents as advocates for their education system, their children enrolled in public school. We want to make sure that you can advocate for your children. You know how to advocate for your children and what to advocate for. You are the most important person. You're very powerful when it comes to your children's success. And of course, to assist low-income parents to self-sufficiency. And how we do that, and because we always say, well, why do they say to assist? Well, we have job readiness trainings. We do GED courses, things of that nature, resume writing, interview techniques. We do all these things to assist our families so that they will be able to be self-sufficient. Services that are available, the parents as teachers, which is something that is dear to my heart. When I first started working this program, that's when I became a certified parent educator with parents as teachers. And so that is a family program from, we deal with families with children 0 to 5. We go to their homes, we do age-appropriate activities with the parent and the child, basically teaching the parent how to teach the child. And it's very, very fun. We're big on literacy. And so one of the things we do, every time we visit, we leave that child a book. If they have siblings, we make sure we leave the siblings either. If the parents say that they're having problems in some school assignment or something, with math or something, we find activities and we bring it back to them. But we always talk to the parents in advance, and if they tell us then, we'll leave, and we also leave them a book if it's available. We do the parenting classes and support groups. We do career planning, things of that nature. All of our parent-child interaction, we have group meetings, and these are some pictures of some group meetings. We've done things like family game night. We did it on Louisiana. Parents wasn't realizing they were learning history, but they were. We called it Louisiana Crumpus Feud. You know, we've done Kirk Jeopardy, things of that nature. And these things, when they were learning this, and they had the children there, and we think about the LEAP test, 4th grade, so they were getting information that was going to help those children with their LEAP test. So we try to be creative in the things we do. Most of it goes back to literacy and math, because we know if the children can't read, they can't do anything else. The career planning, we've done resume writing, we've done interview techniques, and we pull the parents in, and they will call us, and they want to do it, and we can also do one-on-one with parents if need be. Now, I wouldn't say Robin may be able to refer someone down in this area since she's alone, but up north, we have a staff there where we can do some one-on-one, more or less, with everyone. We also have a learning lab. We have a computer lab up north, and we have about 15 computers. Parents can come in anytime during the day. They're open until 6 o'clock. If they need longer hours, of course, we can stay past that. You just have to let us know. I'm there sometimes at 8, 9 o'clock at night anyway, so that's a perk for our families there. But in that lab, they can do resumes, they can search for jobs. We also do computer classes with them. We do anything, basic computer training can be done, as well as internet surfing. Most parents, we know our children know how to surf the internet. And you'll be amazed at parents who don't know what their children are doing on the internet. And so we also do internet safety classes with our parents, because they don't realize sometimes, if they don't know a computer, they don't know what the children are actually doing on the internet. We have informational, we always have, we love handouts, as we like to call them. We're going to give information every time we do something or go somewhere. And we're about connecting the families with the information that they need, something that will help them to advocate for their children. In your packets, you have, of course, I've given you some information with some resources, a little bit about our program. This card tells you some of the workshops that we can provide to your area. We can also tailor the workshop for what you would like to see happen in your area. calling it a celebration. And so these are some of the handouts, and I gave to you guys early, that we will be giving to our parents, just kind of something you can read over and just review every once in a while. Sometimes children, they need to know that you got some laws too. You know, we always give them the rules and regulations and stuff. Just a little laws and things that you can read over in the packet. Under the No Child Left Behind NCLB, we like to call it, we're full of alphabet soup. The Title I Advocacy, there's about 60 perks in the U.S. and the territories. And so all of us are under the U.S. Department of Education. And so one of the things we like to do, we work with the local, the district, the states, and the federal office in regards to education and to increase parental involvement and student achievement. Everything is about making sure our children excel, be successful. And so how we can do that, and if we do that, think about one of the ways that we can do that is that these things, if we have this great parental involvement going on, we're gonna reduce the absenteeism, reduce the dropout rates. It's gonna restore confidence in the children, and so that way they will succeed in school. We are, of course, a statewide program. Like I said, we're up north, Robin is down south, but we all can travel anywhere. We do the rural as well as the urban areas. We have 2 training coordinators. We have 3 certified parent educators. We deal with all public schools. We target our main goal though is the Title I schools who are deemed academically unacceptable schools, but we do work with all schools. We rarely turn anyone away, to be honest with you. Our training, of course, is free. You'll be amazed at the school districts who say, free, when they call us and they want to know about what we can do when we come to the area, and the first thing they say, well, how much do you charge? Because this is a federal program, all our trainings are free. And we do sessions for parents as well as educators. The services we have in Shreveport, we have a leadership academy there. In the past, we've been given some local funds to do leadership academies with the students and the parents, and so we're able to work with them. We've done group activities with them, and we just kind of target one school per year to work with that school. We also have a bilingual neighborhood advocate, and she can also travel, and we do send her out when needed to come and assist. And we do need success with all of our families. We like to know how can we help them. We know until we can meet the basic needs, those educational needs are going to be put to the side because parents are really trying to get help in other issues, and so sometimes they're not looking at the educational needs so that because they're too worried about maybe the light bill being paid or the water being paid, a job, don't have food, things of that nature. So we do the needs assessments and we find ways and means to help. We refer them to agencies, or we're big about getting on the phone to find them the information that they need or the resources that they need. We did a video the other day that we're going to share at our Cherish the Children breakfast where we talk about meeting the needs of the families. And I tell them all the time, it's not about us, it's about the people we serve. And so we try to make sure we meet all of their needs. And we also do counseling with our families if it comes where they need counseling. We have had families in the past where we've had to make sure that they have counseling. Of course, we are located in Shreveport. Our main office is at the Highland Center. We actually just moved to Sweetsburg. If you come to the Highland Center, they know who we are and where we are. Robin's office is in Baton Rouge at the Volunteers America. I want to say it's on Jamestown in Baton Rouge. Is there any questions?
Which region are we considered
One.
in region
One.
I think.
If you're from
Which you
Parish.
Orleans Parish.
one.
How far east does 6 Region 6 extend?
That's like central,
Mhm.
all the way to the,
I'm talking about Monroe, Rayville, Delhi, in that direction. Do you go in that direction?
yes.
So if individuals some of our courses are offered in, to students who live in those areas. For instance, some of them are currently working in daycare centers or the Head Start programs to move right in and reach those parishes. And some of them get to have to do field experiences, and some of these clients obviously will be part of included in some of these settings. And these resources that you just shared, do they, I'm wondering if they are aware in those areas outside of Shreveport are aware of your services?
Monroe, yes, Bastrop, yes, even Tinsall Parish.
But
Delhi, yes.
that's Richland Parish is included also?
I know, son.
Anyway,
I have spoken to someone from Richland Parish.
You do?
I can't recall the name, but I have spoken to someone from Richland Parish.
yeah, that's why. And there are several people who do
Yes.
services.
We've spoken to some, I'm maybe going to do a training there. I want to say our other training coordinator is going to that area to do a training.
Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe in my contact, I can be technically be able to.
yeah, because usually when I get the calls, I forward them on to the right somebody, so that the training coordinator, we have, like I said, we have two. And so if they can't go, we do have other people who can go, and I do go sometimes as well. But I usually forward it to them, and once they can't make it, then we find someone else to go. But I know we're doing something there, I just don't know exactly when. Which one are you on here, so I'll call you.
Robinson, I'm currently here working at Suno, but as I said, that's my hometown area.
Okay,
And we do have students enrolled in classes, online classes, but they actually get in their cars and drive here for pre-registration in some cases. And plus, naturally, there are family members that, I use a personal feeling. And so there's a 3 preschool at the Head Start right there on Highway 80. And I just heard yesterday night that there are some situations concerning testing. And I don't know how far, they think, and naturally, and there's a nearby facility or school that the parents feel that the child should be in that school because of his pretended, signs of being more alert than they are currently providing services. And I'm wondering if services of your nature, if there's anybody in the services tied in where they can do the proper assessments so that although he may be out of the district or the area, he can get the services he needs in another school, although he's not in that setting.
what grade though?
We're talking a 3-year-old right now. The Head Start.
Okay.
And I don't know how far. See, the parents are very concerned, and they do have individual by being a federally funded program, Head Start. And I was just wondering if they fall under your umbrella.
We do work with Head Start,
Mhm.
as far as their guidelines, theirs is a little different. However, if they do have where they go to certain regions based upon where they live, my understanding. But let me call you, because I don't want to give you a definite answer without verifying
Gotcha,
it.
that's good.
So let me call you, and I'll have some information for you on that one. Because I know in the elementary, it's as far as schools go, if the school is AUS, then of course they'll get school choice. Usually they send out a notification maybe 2 or 3 weeks before school starts. They send out parents notification when it comes to the actual public schools if they're in the AUS status. But like Head Start, I have to research that for you.
All right, we can get from it.
Okay.
In regards to doing a family needs assessment, how do you all treat the holistic, as the holistic family? How do you treat that when you find there's a special needs in regards to that child or children that are in that school? Because sometimes you have kids that don't necessarily come forward, or a parent that may come forward But once you find out through that needs assessment, how is that treated? How does that family get treated in regards to what they need?
Is it a school-aged child?
If it's a school age
And they
child,
haven't been,
and they haven't been maybe properly assessed by the social worker or by the school in itself, and you come in maybe at a later time and find out that
we talk to
there's
the
an
parent,
additional
because
need.
the parent has to make the initial step with that, as far as if the school had identified or noticed anything, then we tell our parents our concerns. We can't suggest, we can't say, well, your child is ADD or anything like that. We can just suggest our concerns about what she's saying and encourage her to contact her school, first the teacher. And this has been done in Caddo, and so this is a great one. And so first we contact the teacher, and if the teacher doesn't do anything, then we contact the counselors. We tell the parents to contact the teacher, then the counselor is how it goes. And sometimes they notice it and they're just afraid to say something to the parent, and once the parent tell them their concerns, and then they go on and
Because I have been approached from time to time because my husband is a school administrator, and he would say that his social worker says that a particular child or children need uniforms, or they need belts, or they need socks, or they need underwear, because children have accidents at school and you can't get a parent to bring them clean undergarments. And from a company that I had worked for before, each year at school time, I go to Walmart and spend $100 of my very own money and buy underwear and socks and belts and just those basic things. Kids don't have a $5 belt to put around their waistline. So, and that was just one way, and helping them.
And one of the things we do, we encourage you to let the parents know also, and Volunteers of America is so great about going out of the way. We have a great list of private donors who will let us go out and purchase items to make sure that it's available to the children. So that's one of the things. If it comes to that, then and I'm sorry, I'm completely out of cards. I've ordered cards and they've yet to send us any, but the 866 number that you have, you can give us a call. That brings directly in our office, and we can assist with that, because we have great donors, and even though you're down south, it's not a problem.
The counseling, is it family counseling, individual counseling?
Both.
Okay, it's both. Another thing, so if you have a family, or because I'm reading this information, so if you have a parent who's coming or requesting your support or advocacy because they have a child with special needs, do you provide a training? I understand you said one-on-one training, but like really give them more like a one-on-one class of understanding the specific laws?
It can be done like that. If it's depending upon the special needs, to be honest with you. If it's something that we have great knowledge of, we will. If not, we work very closely with families, helping families. So.
I'm just saying, because I'm a parent, but that's also what I do.
Okay.
I work for that agency too,
Okay.
here, but also another statewide agency as well. And the only reason I'm asking is a lot of times I do come across parents who are looking for more additional support in your area.
Okay.
People, families are always calling about counseling and things that they can't afford and how can they get it. So I'm always giving out additional resources. And then I'll always use my own personal experience because I am a parent of a child with a disability.
Qualify how much counseling, because I'm the representative and I'm seated in Baton Rouge for PERC. And so many of the services that she may speak of are because they are staffed in the north to be able to do that. So I can't provide those counseling. I can refer you, I can give you as much support as I can from a personal standpoint, but I am one. And unless I extend to them those services, if it's something local to New Orleans, they're not, I can't come to give you individualized counseling. That's not my area of specialty, you see. But I can refer you to the Families Helping Families who can do that for your local, or other local providers who can do that. And if I don't readily have that as a resource, then it's my charge to support you in finding resources to connect you with state resources, local resources that I'm aware of that you may not be, because that's the genre in which I work. So based upon your need, you come with a question, you come with a concern, and whether it's a state level question, then either I can redirect you, answer your question on the spot, provide a training, provide you with the resources that you can go forward with it, or provide you with a network whereby you can facilitate your own support. So if it's working with state leaders or state educators or the State Department of Education to get you where you need to be, then I'll do that. If it's working on the district level, aligning you with Kathy Tony Chase, or if it's RSD, Deborah Alfred in your local area, or whomever in your local region to connect the dots, or to provide those on a district level. So if it's a school need, then maybe that's something that needs to be addressed on a school level.
Yeah, like if it's
So,
not a school, because sometimes, although we'll get
Yeah.
families who call, it may not always be disability related. So it could be someone just, you know, a child could have just got molested, or the families are having some problems and the child wants to leave, you know. So it's additional counseling or other resources that they're looking for. And if I find different things, then I'll provide those resources for families to.
And I'll say, about a month ago when Bessie came down in regards to the RSD being returned to Orleans Parish School Board, there were several parents that spoke that had children with special needs, not so much in school behavioral things, but special needs as regards to maybe a physical disability or mental disability. And there was a parent that had shopped around 3 or 4 different schools before she was able to find a place for the child. It wasn't her child, it was for someone that she knew that was having trouble in placing that child in a school facility. And she apparently found a school, I don't remember the name of it, but those kind of things can become quite cumbersome and frustrating, because even though the child had a special need, she still needed to be in school.
Correct.
And a lot of the schools here don't necessarily service those students, and to my knowledge, it shouldn't matter, you know, what their need is. If they go to Benjamin Franklin, well, Benjamin Franklin doesn't have a component for that. You know, you're not gonna find somebody, you know, who's autistically challenged in that school.
Now,
But they may or somewhere else.
Many of those issues are district specific. In the Recovery School District, you're guaranteed a slot in school, but maybe not your local neighborhood school. So those are some constraints that are unique to that district. Orleans Parish, you're generally a little more neighborhood or zoned in to a certain school. And then there are other schools within that zoning or district or charter where you have to have certain standards met. It could be academic, it could be, it could be, sports or something like that. So there are other constraints. The first point of, contact should be the Kathy Tony Chase, because she's going to naturally deal with parent involvement issues. Deborah Alfred, naturally, that's her job title, to deal naturally with those types of, so that is your first point of contact. I would not be,
And
she wouldn't have known.
Didn't know
Right.
that if she had.
and
A lot-
so,
a lot-
they're both here, and by the way.
A lot of parents don't know that, and I'm from here, but
And
my child doesn't go to school here.
Right, but
I mean, I
you
did
need
move
to
out
know
of
that.
parish, and then you have to learn how to navigate it and advocate, and I went through a lot of trainings and learned
Right.
different things, and, I
My
mean,
sister
even
did the same
even though
thing,
it's
but she
hard,
has
because a
two
lot of
autistic
parents don't
children in
realize
the
too, when my son first transitioned out of early steps, we went to a full-day self-contained class. It was hard to find childcare, it was hard to find somebody that was trained, and at that time, he was not ambulatory. So of course, his health and safety was a concern of mine. He's reached that milestone, he's still nonverbal. There are a lot of things that I did myself, supplemented different things.
Right.
But it was a challenge to understand that although my business was here, I lived in another parish. The only way I can get services is if I lived in that parish. So it was almost like losing wages just to navigate the system. So I learned how to navigate the education system, basically to do it. And now I have a clearer, a better understanding of inclusion. So it's like trying to get parents to understand the inclusion model is totally different when you feel like other people are just not going to take that time and nurture your child and embrace your child, into the classroom. So it's hard. And I mean, even doing what I do daily as a parent and then trying to, also work as an advocate, it's hard because I see a lot of parents out of Orleans Parish where they're paying for them to go out of district to another school because they don't have, the schools to do it. Or they're learning how to, navigate it. And if you don't know what the resources are, and that's the thing, you teach parents how to navigate the website and where all the different resources are, wherever they live. And it all boils down to education, going to the parent-teacher conferences. Everybody has to work. Nobody can make those things. So it's just pushing the education on.
Because my sister-in-law
Part of
moved
it.
out of Orleans Parish to St. Tammany to find a better school for her two sons who are both.
But see, like I tell people, there is no better.
And that's what I was trying to say, well.
It's knowing the
Maybe your
laws.
living
It's
conditions
knowing
are
your
better,
laws and knowing what your
but,
rights are and knowing how
yeah.
to use your right to get the services you need, but still coming across smoothly with understanding what your rights are and getting the need that you want.
But she went on the learning curve. She found out everything the hard way, having two children in the same family with autism. So that in itself was super challenging because you have one mild, one more severe. So, what do? You don't separate the two. They
No,
put them in
right.
the same place.
So, those names that you were calling, Albert.
Kathy Chase's
That elder New Orleans, Kathy Conner Chase.
Okay, so where's,
I think what I'm gonna suggest is that, is it, I let you have this already? But what I'm gonna suggest is that you, connect, there are two things I would think are premier to connect with. One is the handbook that you were given when you started school. That should have all of those things outlined in it, what your rights are. And you really have to read that to know what your rights are. Now, that just tells you what the laws are. It doesn't tell you who to go to, when to go to, where, why, for your specific child. The next point you need to do is connect with Kathy Tony Chase, who's on Orleans Parish, New Orleans Public Parish School System, and Deborah Alfred. That's Recovery School District, and there is a district lead, and we work directly with them. So they will be more intimately connected to the local things, where to, what to.
And even if you live in Orleans, there's a parent guide. There's
Yes,
a book,
there is.
and it's all in there.
Yeah,
Like say for
resource guide.
instance,
Yeah, that just
that
sign
resource
for-
guide, you have to
Yeah.
sign for
But
it.
what I'm
Well,
saying
there's
is,
some of the
both
things you
those
have
two
to
people
sign
will
for
be
when they
able
come
to
for, like,
direct you to
Yeah,
those
and that'll give you
rights.
those
So that you
names.
need that, those people are unique
Can
junctures.
somebody just say that those names slowly and either spell it because, you're saying the names of
Deborah
Albert,
Alfred, did you do your balance?
A-L-F-R.
Yeah, that's what we're about to.
Where is she, listed, or where can I find her name?
My name is Chanel Johnson Washington, and I'm your facilitator for today. I'm going to introduce our presenter. Just to let you know, I want to welcome you guys to the second half of the workshop. And to make sure that you are in the correct workshop, you are in the PERC workshop, which is the Promise Parent Information and Resource Center. And you guys, everyone signed in a sign-in sheet. And the evaluation form that I gave you, I'm going to pick it up after the session is over, and I would like for you all to fill it out. Your presenter name is Ms. Gladys Walter. Ms. Walter is the Program Director for Louisiana Promise PERC and serves as Program Chair for the National Association of Social Workers. She works in the Shreveport region. She has also served as PERC Assistant Director, a Teacher Certified Parent Educator, Program Director for DeSoto High School Alumni Association Foster Grandparent Program, Social Service Assistant at the Behavior Unit in Mansfield, Shelter Care Family Caseworker in Dallas, and a Human Resource Assistant for Toys R Us. Ms. Walter has a BA in Social Work from Northwestern State University. And I just would like to welcome Ms. Walter, your presenter. Enjoy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank y'all for coming. I saw some of y'all shopping when you came in. Yes, we do have door prizes, which we'll give away at the end. I am Gladys Walters. I have not to tell I'll say a lived up a testimony. The reason why I love what I do so dearly is because I have 3 children. So I'm a parent. And I was a parent before I had my children because my sister was a teen mom, and she was one of those, my mom that went off to school and left her son there, and everybody thought he was mine while I was in high school. I practically raised him. But with my 3 children, my son is the one who's so challenging to me. He's the one who said, yeah, Mama, you're going to continue to do what you do because these parents are going to teach you because I ain't get it like I should. So, he's very challenging. He's one of those who twiddles his thumb, doesn't care what's going on in school. He makes average grades just to get by, whereas my girls are wonderful, don't want anything below a B. So, he's the only boy, and so he thinks, well, I can just do what I want to do. Those girls are going to take care of me. So, he's the reason why I love what I do, because I have to keep in mind and keep my mindset and keep focused that once we're out there advocating for parents, parents are also giving me the tools that I need to help me to advocate to make him do right. So with that said, I'm with the Louisiana Promise PERT, PERT being Parent Information and Resource Center, and we are a statewide program. We are federally funded through the U.S. Department of Education, Office of Innovation and Improvement. We deal with the part of, here we're gonna do, several objectives we're gonna talk about. Of course, Louisiana Promise PERT, our grant guidelines, our program goals, the services we offer, and our contact information where we're located. Of course, we're funded through the U.S. Department of Education, Office of Innovation and Improvement grant under the Title 5 of the No Child Left Behind Act. Basically, we deal with the parental involvement component of the No Child Left Behind Act. We're about building that partnership with parents and schools. It's about making sure that that children are advocating for our children to be successful academically and school-wise. We're committed to promoting parental involvement and educational success, and we do strength-based programs. Basically, everything we do is research-based to make sure that we're meeting the needs of the parents so that they can go and advocate for their children. It's all about those children being successful. Under the grant, we have to serve the rural and the urban areas, and we know Louisiana is very rural, especially if you're up north, which is where I'm from. At least 50% of our funds, of course, has to go on a high concentrated area of children whose families are in the challenging socioeconomic status. And of course, 30% of the funding has to go to early childhood parent program. And one of the programs we do is the Parents as Teachers program. And I want to say all of them are up north as far as Parents as Teachers go. It used to be one in Baton Rouge, but it's no longer existing. And I'll talk about the Parents as Teachers program a little bit later. Of course, our target population is they're, of course, minority families. They have children with learning disabilities. They're limited English-speaking families, as well as social economic challenged. And that's 90% under the grant guidelines. These families, it has to be a total of 90% of these families meeting those target goals. PROMISE being an acronym, which stands for Parents Realizing Opportunity Means Investing in Students' Education. With that being said, when we first took this job and this grant came through, we often wondered what was PROMISE, because we didn't realize at first why it was like P period R period O. It was like, what is this? And so we finally read the grant, and we saw where Mary Ellen, the young lady who wrote the grant, everything she does, she uses acronyms for it. So, and we thought about it, well, yeah, parents have to realize this, and that's the only way that we can get parents to do what has to be done. It's about making sure that our families are being successful as far as our children go. Our first goal that we are achieving is to make sure that our children are being, parents are, I'm sorry, my throat is very dry. Parents are recognized as the first and most important teacher. Most of the young families now, and I was parent educator before I got this position, and they don't realize, and we did the prenatal care with them, they don't realize that children are learning even when they're in the womb. We give books when we do these visits, and we were telling the parents to read to the children, and one of the young ladies said, why am I going to read to him? He don't know what I'm saying. Yes, he do. He's learning. If you're reading to him while you're pregnant, he's learning. And now, and that was maybe a year or so ago, and now this child is very, very bright, and she's just amazed at how much he knows, and we all credit that to her actually reading to him while he was in the womb. So we have to teach them that they are the first teachers. You know, we've had parents say, well, I sit in school all day, well, I got to work with them. You know, that's that teacher's responsibility. It all starts at home, that learning behavior, everything that's taught at home, it plays a part in when they're in school. And so we try to make sure that the parents know that that's going on, and so they'll know that watch what you do at home, you know, be correct in what you're doing, so that when that child goes to school, they'll be able to focus. Of course, the second goal is to empower our parents as advocates for their children's educational success, for the children who are enrolled in public schools. And we do that, and we do that through workshops and trainings and things of that nature. We give them the tools that they can use to meet that goal there. And of course, to assist low-income parents in self-sufficiency. And of course, how we do it, of course, also is with our workshops. But we do job readiness training, interview techniques, resume writing, computer training, things of that nature, so that we can help our parents to be self-sufficient. The services we provide, the Parents as Teachers Office, that is a beautiful, beautiful early childhood education program that we do. We actually go to the homes, we do age-appropriate activities with the parent and the child, basically teaching the parent how to teach the child. We've had some who will actually been in the program for 4 years, and she will age out in December. And this little girl, where's her teacher, is what she want to know when she calls. She want her mom to call her teacher. And she's so smart, they're testing her for a magnet school. Because her Head Start said that she's just too smart. Every time we go through those visits, we love literacy, we stress literacy. Because we know if you can't read, you can't do anything. You got to be able to read, do math, you got to read the problems, you got to be able to drive, you got things of that nature. So every time we go, we take a book, and in this picture you see Helen is book sharing with the baby. We read some, we get the parents to read some. If the parents don't know how to read, then we also help them with some type of literacy, help get them reading. But we always leave, we help those children with the library. We leave books every time we go. If they have older siblings, we'll leave something for that older sibling, whether it's a book or some type of worksheet or something. If the parents say they're having trouble in some area in school, we'll make sure we have something for that family. We just don't go empty-handed with something for that baby. The parenting classes and support groups that we have. We always try to do something fun. We know that it's hard. If we're calling you out for a meeting, we know that sometimes you got to bring your children, so most of our activities are parent-child interaction. And so when it comes to that, we always plan an activity where we got you doing something fun. We've done family game night. We did it, and we did it based on Louisiana history. Well, we got fourth graders in there that parents who children are going to fourth grade got through the LEAP test. Well, they learned something that they may use on the LEAP test. You know, we just changed the games. It was Family Feud. We called it Louisiana Promise Feud. We did Purple Jeopardy. We called it Family Game Night. It was a game night. We did games, but they also learned something. So we just try to find just innovative ways to get them out, to get them to come out and share, and they'll learn some things that they can also go home and do. And it was amazing because they would say, oh, well, I'm going to go home and I'm going to make sure he knows, you know, what the capital is, things of that nature. So those type of things, they can do that at home, you know, play a game with a child at home, and they'll learn that way. Some of them learn easier that way if you do it by game. We also, like I said, the job readiness, we do the interview techniques, resume writing, GED, things of that nature to help our parents be self-sufficient. It's all about helping our families just growing them. Basically, it's about growth. Everybody needs growth in their life. In Shreveport, we have a computer lab, about 15 computers where the parents come in and they do computer training. We have actual manuals can tell you how to turn a computer on. There's so many parents who don't know what to do. They just sit down and it's like they're on another planet. They don't know. So we've developed some manuals through research that they tell them how to turn it on, how to put the CDs in, how to explore the internet, how to go to the Microsoft Office programs, things of that nature. The computer lab is open from 8 to 6. Sometimes later, if the parent needs more time, if they're working, they want to come in after the fact, I'm usually there till like 8:30, 9 o'clock. So I'm usually the one who's there, so they'll call the office, and if we're there, they'll come in, and they'll come in and they'll train themselves basically, and we're there, we also do one-on-one. I'm a computer guru, I love the computers. So if it's in the evening, call me, and they know I'll be there for them. And I've done one-on-ones with families, and we've had grandma who's raising her children, the grandchildren, because the mom is in prison. Well, she wanted to know how to go on there and look up the children's grades. She didn't know how to turn a computer on, and the children wouldn't teach her. They wouldn't teach her because they didn't want to look at their grades. And so she called our office, and I was just amazed, and she was such a sweet lady. And I said, well, ma'am, if you can come up here, I sure will show you how to get on that computer and find those grades. And so when she called me back, she said, oh, they didn't realize I could look at that computer now and see what they're doing in school. I said, just tell them thanks to Miss Gladys, you got that. Also, we always like to give out information when we go out to visit or when we have workshops, and it's just connecting you with the valuable resources. In your packets, I've given you some information. It's about the perks and the areas we serve and how they're broken down. And I'm sorry they're not in color. I should have said in the first session. We actually moved our office this week, and so our, I don't know, when they moved everything, nothing wants to work, so we had to outsource everything, and Office Depot say they don't do color copies, the ones we were using, I don't know, but that's something we'll have to deal with later. Because you can't really see the areas up top, but we'll show it later where you can't see what the dark areas are. But we do cover all of Louisiana, and in the package, we give you the information about perks in general, where there are 60 perks in the U.S. and in territories. You also have a resource link in there where you can, there's websites and information you can find online. We gave you an article of a No Child Left Behind from the AHA process, Dr. Ruby Payne on the, that everybody loves Dr. Ruby Payne, who knows of Dr. Ruby Payne. And you have a card in there which will give you an idea of the workshops that we provide. And all of our workshops are free. And you can also call us with some type of specific title or need or something, and we can do that as well. And also, I put the laws of parenting up top, because my children love it. They told Mama they got laws for you. And so these just little things that I like to read. Thursday is National Parental Involvement Day. And so this information over here is some of the information that we're going to share, an activity that we're giving in Shreveport. And so I wanted to share it with you. Just some neat little things that we found that we're going to share with the parents. So think about Thursday is National Parental Involvement Day. May want to tell your kids, today is my day for helping you. So let's try to work something together today, most definitely, if you're not already doing it. Obviously, No Child Left Behind Title I, we deal with advocacy. Advocacy, of course, is talked about the 60 perks across the United States and the territories. Some states have 2. But here in Louisiana, we only have 1. We're not that large. We work with the local, the district, the state, and the federal offices regarding education and to increase parental involvement. It's about bridging that gap to make sure that we're meeting the needs and helping parents to partner with the schools. It's all about the educational success of the children. And if we do these things, if we increase parental involvement, it will reduce absenteeism, it will reduce the dropout rate, the children will become more confident, and that way it will help them to succeed in school. Like I said, we are statewide. We have a training coordinator. We have Ms. Robin Clark here up front. She's a training coordinator in the South. She covers, we always say she covers all the St. parishes. And we have one in the North, Ms. Shanita Sumlin. If Robin is not available here in the South for some trainings or something, we do all of us can travel all over Louisiana. So if it's something where she's not available, then I can pull somebody else down to help her in the area or to do something here. Hopefully, with us being in the 5th year, maybe in the new cycle, we'll be able to put in and put somebody down here to help her with the southern half of the state. Because majority of the team is up north. There's about 6 of us up north. But with only 3 of us supposedly only traveling around the state, but I changed that rule myself because it got a little overwhelming for us. Of course, we serve in we do the public schools. Our goal, Congress said our goal is to especially put emphasis on schools who are academically unsuccessful, but we do all schools, especially Title I schools. We do trainings and workshops and help parents in those schools. All of our services are free. We cannot charge. It is amazing when the school districts call us and they want to come out and do a professional development or something for their area. When we tell them we can't charge, they're amazed. But that's what we do. We love what we do. I just had this feel the other day. This is something that you have to have a passion for. And so everything that we do it with passion. We put a lot of work in and make sure we research everything to make sure that we're giving you exactly what you need when it comes to helping you prepare. We do sessions for parents as well as educators. We don't just do trainings for parents. We've been called into districts to do professional developments. In Shreveport, we have a leadership academy. Every year we get some local funding where we can target a school and we can work with parents at a particular school. And it's usually a school that's in AUS. And we do things with the parents such as the support groups, the workshops. We've done things as parent night out where we've taken them bowling, but we relate it to math. You know, and they're not realizing it at first, but then when we sit down afterwards and we really discuss it, then they realize, oh yeah, you did do some math. So you can help your children with math. We have a bilingual neighborhood advocate. She's also a certified parent educator who most definitely can travel around the state. She translates for districts. So if anyone needs, and she's Hispanic, I should say that she's a Hispanic outreach coordinator. And so anything in Spanish she can translate. In Shreveport, we also do needs assessment on our families. And what we try to think of is that we can't meet the education needs of those children until we find out exactly what the basic needs are. And so we make sure that we do a needs assessment and we find out if that family needs some other assistance besides just helping them to help their child with school. And chances out of 100, they do. You know, whether we do this poverty simulation, it's so amazing to me because when you go into these areas and do this with professionals, and sometimes they don't realize, that baby may be acting up at school because he don't have lights on at home. You know, he may act up that Monday because he hadn't eaten since that Friday when he left school. And so we try to make sure that, we're getting that information out there. And until we do those needs assessments, sometimes we don't know. Parents have to tell us. We had one to come in last week. We didn't know she was homeless. They were still using their old address. And so we just assumed she was still there until she came in and said, can you write me a letter? They said if I have a letter saying that I'm trying to work with somebody, then they may be able to give me a place to stay. And I'm sitting there with my mouth open because the child was coming. We have after school program, and she was coming to the meetings like there was nothing wrong. Yeah. And I told her then, I said, now if you hadn't come in, we would have still been doing the same thing, just going on with daily routine, wondering why, we saw a little withdrawal from the child, but we thought maybe it's just something in school, maybe with another child or something, until she came in and told us that. And they had been living in the car for 2 weeks. But like I tell them, they have to tell us, let us know, and that's when the needs assessment comes in. We also in the Shreveport area, we have counseling for our families, if they need some type of counseling. Because we're on the Volunteers for America, North Louisiana, we're able to utilize the resources we have there to assist with some of these things. Of course, we are located in Shreveport, our main office, but we do have a satellite office in Baton Rouge where Robin is the only one there. In the Shreveport, we have about 6 people. Our contact information, we have a main line, we have a toll-free line. Toll-free line rings right in our office. So if it comes to a point where someone needs to contact us, you can call the 866 number. Someone should always pick that line up unless they're not in the office. And I told you earlier about the regions on the map was blacked out. It's 7 and 8 for the top regions. Robin covers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9. And of course, Shanita covers 6, 7, 8. Shanita's our North Louisiana training coordinator. But like I said, we all can travel around the state. Do you have any questions?
I know you said you don't have the parents as teachers program here, but how can that be incorporated somehow here in Katy?
Do you have Hippie? Is Hippie still here? You don't have Hippie here anymore? Do the school district do any type of, is it family nurse?
That's for nursing services.
That's what I wanted to, yeah. There used to be Hippie here, I didn't know Hippie was gone.
Hippie, my daughter is Hippie. She was in Ellick. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't
an
know what
old
happened.
Hippie parent, so yeah, I love Hippie.
I like Hippie.
Yeah. Deborah Jones is our state leader with parents and teachers. And so I have to call Deborah. Because I'm gonna say I thought Hippie was still here because with parents and teachers, because there was a Hippie in the building, we thought it was covered. So I have to call Deborah and see if she
I don't
knows
think they
Deborah.
have Hippie anymore.
Bridget, I can't think of her last name. Bridget was over the Hippie program here in New Orleans. I don't know her last name right off the top of my head. Well, yeah, well, have they opened up Gus School? Gus,
It's now KIP.
is what?
Now KIP.
Okay, because her office is out of Gus School. Oh, okay. I'll find
Gus
out.
by the Malcolmine Project.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's now KIP.
Okay. Okay, yeah. When our parent educators used to work at Gus.
Oh.
Yeah. Let me find out, and your school districts also,
Gus the bus.
may have one.
Gus the bus.
There was talk of it, but you had,
Never came, never together.
hopefully we can get some funding.
My son's 19, but I have a grandbaby that's 4 months that I'm interested in doing something like that.
Yeah.
Incorporated with him because mom is, she got 2.5 credits.
How old is the baby?
He's 5 months today.
I am like.
What about the, AHAB? Is that in this area?
Oh, no, they don't.
They don't have that here? Okay.
You mentioned the Hispanic advocate was a certified parent advocate. Is there like training or?
Certified parent educator through the Parents and Teachers Program.
Okay, yeah. So are there trainings that parents could go through, like if a community-based program organized something where they, could learn and become those certified advocates to work with other parents and informing them about the program? This is the most in-depth and detailed presentation I've ever heard about Louisiana Promise. And many of the school districts do not even disseminate information about the program.
Can I speak to that? Yeah, this is Robin Park in this area.
My region covers the southern half of the state of Louisiana, and the question was that the lady here had never heard of Louisiana Promise. It is the responsibility of your district, your school parish, to notify you. Sometimes it's a line item, sometimes it's in a conversation, but generally it's in written form. It should be found. It could be found in your handbook. It may have been said at a Title I district meeting, but it is the responsibility of your Title I or your federal programs to disseminate information regarding Louisiana Promise Parent Information Resource Center. We cover the entire state. It is a responsibility and a monitoring requirement for every district to do that, okay? Now what we do on a district level is we work with the district in providing technical assistance, professional development, helping them support their parent information resources or parent engagement activities. If they call on us, they don't have to call on us. So if they're not calling on us, then we're not maybe providing services. That's district level. So there are some district leases, there's some changing of the guard, if you will, as it relates to new staffers. They don't know what's going on, they don't know what their job is yet. It could be that there are some old staffers who are overwhelmed and don't reinforce it, because we are partners. We will come